Hello and welcome back to Brockport Sports Talk. Alongside Zach Harnischfager and Michael Tamaro, I'm Jack McElligott, and we are back with some football coverage. After a action-packed divisional round and some very close games and great comebacks, we have arrived at Conference Championship Week. And we have some exciting games, the AFC Championship game and the NFC Championship game, of course. Zach, I want to start things with you. I want to go into the NFC Championship game. We've got the Los Angeles Rams. We've got the San Francisco 49ers. How are you feeling about that game and how the teams are looking headed into it?
Well, both teams, it's a divisional game, and I think we're in store for a good game. You got the 49ers, who their defense has looked really good all year, with Bosa and then with Deebo Samuel, man, he's been on fire. The 49ers are 2-0 against the Rams this year, including a Week 18 overtime win.
And I will say they're 6-0 against the Rams in their last 6 games.
Yes, and I'll tell you one thing, for the Rams to win this game, they're going to have to shut down Deebo Samuel because he's put up big numbers against the Rams. So in order for him to win this game, Von Miller, Aaron Donald, they're really going to have to get to Jimmy G. And then, Matthew Stafford's got to not turn the ball over. We know he's had some issues this year turning the ball over. So if he plays like he did against Tampa Bay, I think the Rams can win this game.
I think, his whole career he's kind of had that issue. Partly because of the Lions, you have to throw that ball around a whole lot to make up for the deficiencies on that team. But also with the Rams, it's kind of been up and down, and certainly against the 49ers, he had 2 bad games. I don't know if that's because, they've got him figured out, Shanahan's got him figured out or what. But, Stafford looked great against the Buccaneers. His team kind of was falling apart around him. They had to have that comeback to seal things up. But I think, I think Stafford is definitely the key to this game because Jimmy G, he's not going to be winning the 49ers the game. It's the defense and running game. If Matt Stafford shows up and the Rams offense is able to get things going like they did against the Buccaneers, I don't see the 49ers really having an answer. Garoppolo just isn't the caliber of QB I would expect in a conference championship game. Mike, what are your thoughts?
So the last game the Rams played against the Buccaneers, they barely pulled out the victory 30-27 after having a 27-3 lead, and they blew it. So luckily for them, they're facing a much inferior QB to Tom Brady, which is Jimmy Garoppolo. And, Garoppolo is not exactly a stellar QB or anything. And with the Rams' offensive weapons, they have Odell and, Cooper Kupp too. And Stafford, I think he'll play fine. I don't know if he'll play like great as he did against Tampa Bay because the 49ers defense has been stellar. But like Zach mentioned about their record against the Rams' record against the 49ers record, which was 0-6 in the last 6 games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really think that's going to be like a factor into this game. Like anything can happen in the playoffs, especially in one playoff game.
Well, yeah, it's definitely right that playoff games, there's a different fever pitch there, and that the 49ers had a lot more to play for Week 17 than the Rams did. The Rams are playing more for just seeding. But, when you have that much success, with McVay struggling against Shanahan, you have 2 coaches like that. Do you think there is, like, a factor of, like, the Rams, like, maybe having the 49ers in their head or, Shanahan being in McVay's head?
Not at all. This is, I think for the Rams, obviously with an 0-6 record, they're going to come out and they're going to play, and I think they're going to win in big fashion.
But do you think, like, the 49ers, maybe they have Matt Stafford figured out? Maybe they got that defense figured out?
Well, we'll have to wait and see for the NFC Championship game. So.
Definitely. And onto the AFC Championship game. We've got an exciting matchup there. Cincinnati Bengals. Nobody really thought they would get that far. They upset Tennessee after, Joe Burrow takes 9 sacks, and they still end up upsetting, what many people thought would be a favorite, the Titans, especially with getting Derrick Henry back. And the Chiefs, what a game against the Buffalo Bills. One of the greatest we've maybe ever seen. And, they come into this AFC Championship game. They're 4th in a row. Patrick Mahomes, and however many years he's been 4 years that he has been starting. He gets into his 4th straight one. Amazing stuff. They've been there before, and they won the past 2. So, it's a very exciting matchup. Zach, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, that Bills Chiefs game, that was one of the best games I have ever seen, and very exciting. And that Bengals team, they've surprised me this year. I mean, they were 2-14 last year, and now to be in the AFC title game. I mean, nobody would have thought that. But the Bengals are definitely going to have to limit the sacks because they led the league in sacks given up with over 55. So, and as you know, they had 9 in the divisional round. So, they're going to have to keep Burrow upright because when you keep Burrow upright with the weapons they have, Higgins, Uzama, Jamar Chase, they're big playmakers and they can make big plays for you. And we can't forget about Joe Mixon either in the backfield. So they got a good team if they can keep them upright. So if they do that, and we all know the Chiefs' defense hasn't been that great. They gave up 38 points to the Bills. So if the Bengals, play good defense and keep Joe Burrow upright and limit the sacks, I think they can upset the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm. Do you believe? So you believe that with the Bengals, giving up 9 sacks to the Titans, you don't think the Chiefs could get that type of pressure in on the Bengals?
I do think they can get that kind of pressure, and that's what the Bengals got to make sure they protect them. So. Mm-hmm.
Mike, how are you feeling about the game?
Yeah, with the sacks that the Bengals gave up against Titans, it was like 9 total sacks a game. Like that,
yes,
that's an insane number in a single playoff game, especially. And if the Titans could do that, then so can who said the Chiefs can, and that's going to be a big issue for the Bengals. He's probably still going to get sacked a lot. He's still going to put up great numbers, but he might still get sacked a lot. And I don't know if they'll get away with that as they did in the Titans game. And for the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes is already a legend in my eyes. One of the greatest quarterbacks I've ever seen, and
most talented, I would say.
And it's like I think this is an obvious thing, but I think he'll have another great game. And the Bengals have so far the weakest defense in all the playoffs right now. So I don't think Patrick Mahomes should have a problem, especially that he was able to cook the Bills defense from last week.
Yeah, I would say the Bills defense is definitely stronger than the Bengals defense. I don't think they're a pushover. I think that I wouldn't say they were the worst maybe in the AFC, but it's a possibility. What I would say is you cannot have that type of pressure that Joe Burrow had put on him and compete with the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes and go blow for blow with them. You need to find a way to give Joe Burrow space and time. You need to find a way to let him cook. You've got too many great weapons on offense to have him on his back 9 times in the game and plays like that. Definitely.
And we can't forget the Bengals did beat the Chiefs earlier in the year. Barely, but they did beat them. So, this definitely, I don't know about you guys, but this game will definitely be a good game. I think both championship games are going to be really good games. Yeah.
What I would say is the Chiefs have definitely improved a lot on the defensive side, I think, since that game against the Bengals. In the playoffs, they've looked better. Against the Bills, they definitely struggled. But, that Bills offense, they had a perfect game against the Patriots. We haven't talked about that. But, that's a difficult opponent. And
I would also like to add, you have to be careful with the amount of sacks that Joe Burrow gets against him. Because, the Colts, they had Andrew Luck from 2012 to, what was it, 2006
season?
Yeah.
17, something like that. And his career pretty much ended because of the injuries. And he had a terrible O-line his entire career. And he was a talented quarterback. He was a very good quarterback. And his career ended up short because of injuries. And I don't think the Bengals want to end Joe Burrow the same way as him. So they really got to watch out about that O-line.
Yeah, definitely. I would say they definitely need to invest in an O-line in the offseason and just get Joe Burrow more help in that way because they've done such a good job of getting help around him, with his receivers and everything in any other way. But, if your quarterback's just getting banged up all around, we see how it works with Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. They had some success, but they've had problems with him running around with that offensive line. I would say I definitely think that the Chiefs are too overpowering in this game. I would say that I don't think that the Bengals, with the holes that they have, can keep up with that offense blow for blow on the week. And guys, now that we've talked about the AFC and NFC championship games, let's move on to our Super Bowl predictions, who we think is going to be in the game, and maybe who's going to win if you feel so bold enough. Zach, we'll start with you again.
So I'm going to go with, I think my Super Bowl prediction is going to be the Rams and the Bengals. I think the Bengals upset the Chiefs, and I definitely think the Rams figure it out against the 49ers and take down Jimmy G and company. And I'm even going to say the score for the Bengals-Rams game in the Super Bowl. I think it's going to be a close game, but it's going to be high scoring. So I'm thinking, again, Bengals win it on a walk-off field goal, and they win the game 42-40.
Wow, a 42-40 Super Bowl. I think that would be like the most highest scoring Super Bowl ever, really, maybe.
I don't think that's going to happen.
No, all right, we'll get to you. Let me say my predictions first. Personally, I would say I think the Rams are going to figure it out in the NFC Championship game. I think they're just a more talented all-around team than the Niners, and we've seen Stafford, pick it up in the game, and I don't think his team's going to be fumbling and stumbling like they were against the Bucs necessarily. I wouldn't predict that. It's very possible they could, but I don't think so. And I would say the Chiefs, like I said, just too overpowered. Their defense is better than it was before. They're not perfect, but they're good enough to get to Joe Burrow and make them make enough mistakes to have Mahomes take that game over. And I would say, again, the Chiefs are going to win that Super Bowl. I predict it to be a close game. I wouldn't say it's going to be a blowout. I would say closer to 28-24, let's say, for the Chiefs beating the Rams in the Super Bowl. Mike, turn it over to you.
So for the AFC, I think that the Chiefs are just going to blow out the Bengals. It's just I kind of agree with you. I don't think Joe Burrow will get sacked 9 times again, but I still think he'll get sacked a lot because that's just how bad their O-line is. So I believe the Chiefs are going to get to him a lot, but Patrick Mahomes is just good enough. I don't think the Bengals are going to shut him down, especially. And for the NFC, I think it's going to be way closer than the AFC game, but I think the Rams will come up with the victory. The Rams have a better offense than the 49ers, in my opinion, so I think Matthew Stafford will figure it out, and he'll get past the 49ers.
All right, that's our Super Bowl predictions and our AFC and NFC predictions, of course. Thank you for joining us again for another episode of Brockport Sports Talk. For Michael Tamero and Zach Karnischfager, I'm Jack McElligott. We'll see you next week.